Okay, welcome back to video 7 of how to book it from your basement. I'm Estes Tarver, and today we're going to talk about one of my favorite topics, violence on camera. Okay. Now, this can be a little tricky to sort of know what works at first. For instance, when Vampire Diaries came out, there were a lot of scenes where at the end you were getting eaten by a vampire. Our tendency might be to do this.
Please. Please.
This can be a little much to expect producers to imagine without taking them out of the scene. It's also hard to look cool getting eaten by an imaginary vampire. And this is sometimes a business of cool. So, don't over-concern yourself with that. But if it doesn't work well on film, sometimes it can reflect on the actor, even though it's a very strong actor. Decisions like this can make an actor look more experienced or less.
So are you saying that I am a strong, more experienced actor?
No comment.
Aww, you guys!
So, casting directors want to keep it simple so the tapes look strong. Here's an example from the Vampire Diaries scenario. A lot of actors were showing the vampire attack on the tape thinking it would give them an opportunity to showcase their acting skills. In reality, casting noticed producers thought it looked stupid and weren't liking those tapes. So, Mark Fincannon, one of the main casting directors in the Southeast, sent out a note to just put 2 fingers on your neck when you got bitten, like so.
No, please. Please.
So, you see, it can look more experienced to not show this moment on an audition tape. Now, there are other scenes where the violent physicality is critical to the truthful action of the scene. It's happening in the middle of the scene or throughout, and omitting the violence will make the scene flat. Here's an example of an audition for Black Lightning that I booked off the tape that Sean and I taped. Sean made the noise for the slap, and I physicalized the action while I begged for my life.
You told me Black Lightning was dead. You said you personally saw the body.
I thought,
Look, I don't have time for your lies. You need to give it to me straight. What happened?
I saw the body that came out of the river where Black Lightning fell. How many people could have fallen into that river? I thought it was him.
What do you mean, you thought?
My boss put the body that fell into the river in the crematorium.
Was he dressed like Earth, Wind, and Fire?
What? Oh!
Was the body your boss put in the fire dressed like Maurice White?
Oh!
And now, take a look at the final product.
You lied to me. You told me Black Lightning was dead. You said you personally saw the body.
I saw it.
Look, I don't have time for your lies. What happened?
The body came out of the river where Black Lightning fell. How many people could have fallen into that river? I thought it was him.
What do you mean you thought?
My boss put the body from the river in the crematorium.
Was he dressed like Earth, Wind, and Fire?
What?
Was the body your boss put in the fire dressed like Maurice White?
Notice the similar positioning and eye lines in both the audition tape and the final product. All of that information is in the script if you know where to look. I was on the floor because I got knocked down, and now I'm looking up, which gives a low status to the character in the scene relative to Tobias's high status as a gangster. Now, I look like I'm really in trouble, not to mention the physicality of being beat. Sean thoroughly enjoyed taping me. I knew to show the violence on screen because the scene was just not fun or entertaining without it. So learn to trust your judgment on that. Other ways to execute violence are things like being strangled. Sean uses his hands to execute the physicality, not the reader's. Avoid the reader being on camera always. Gut punched, stabbed. There you go. My favorite event, watching Sean be tortured. If you need to be shaken or bumped for a scene, have the reader do it and stay off camera. Another form of physicality on camera is when your character is initiating the violence. Well, that tends to be easier to execute as you can just cheat it with the framing. Just keep a good bit of it off camera. The reason this works better is because the off-camera person leaves the violence up to the imagination of the viewer. For example,
What are you doing, honey? I don't...
being strangled,
No, please, look, no.
stabbed, It also adds to it if there are subtle sound effects off camera. Not too much or it quickly sounds ridiculous, but a little is very effective.
No, please, look, no, please, go. Listen, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't have to. Oh, God, I'm sorry. Listen, I really don't, man. I don't know what you're talking. Oh!
You're gonna bring me the money. Get out.
Okay, sorry. Okay, I'll have it next week.
Cheating these things off camera works well for a self-tape. If you're auditioning in person, you might ask casting about how they want you to execute it in their office. And last but not least, if a scene starts in a fight, getting pushed onto camera against a wall with a sound can be very effective, or pushing it to fade in can also work well.
You're gonna do what I told you.
You're gonna do what I told you!
Okay, this covers pretty much all forms of violence you will encounter in audition taping. If you're getting shot, it's probably at the end of the scene and you're dying. We'll talk more about that in our vid later about getting killed. That sums up violent physicality in most scenes. Enjoy the mayhem. In our next video, we will discuss intimate physicality, kissing, busted making out, and other
that's the site. Didn't see you there.
We will teach you practical, truthful approaches on how to execute these things well on the next How to Book It from Your Basement.